gonna catch him with his pants down, having the time of your life, kid. And he says it's about to be. Try it next time you get any. 2 medium, 2 toppings, $5.99. Wouldn't it be crazy if somehow? Wouldn't it be crazy if $5.99 was significant in some kind of way? $5.99. I am dying, about to die, wither, and decay.
Oh.
Wow, no way.
No way.
And it shows the old guy. Don't. Isn't it like delivery for pizzas kind of
Click's
like
about to die.
$5.99 was significant in some kind of way. $5.99. I am dying, about to die, wither, and decay. Wow, no way.
Yeah.
And it shows the old guy. Don't.
Can you see
Isn't
that?
like delivery for
Or can you
pizzas
see
kind of
me?
like a younger kid thing? I don't see. I mean,
I think you can only see me.
But some older guy is delivering the new
Background.
generation, the 2-in-1, and they're $5.99 for 2 and 2 because you had male and female from Genesis 1, and then you had Adam, the singularity. So there's your Domino's pizza, but the Lord took Eve from his side, so you get 2 and 2 for $5.99. That's the system that interbred male and female from Genesis 1, and then Adam, and then Eve was taken out of his side. The 2 and 2 bread, you had the system, and let's see what $5.99 means. It means properly to die off. Separation is on focusing the separation that goes with.
It says the usage. I am dying, am about to die, wither, decay. Click's still telling you that he's about to die.
Dying off away from Apollinsko, to die off. It stresses the significance of separation that always comes with divine closure. Stresses the ending of what is former to bring what naturally follows. I mean, guys, do you understand? I'm showing you a Domino's pizza commercial that is referencing biblical passages. Domino's, 2-in-1, blue, because Genesis 1 is them, the scorpions, blue. That the scorpions, the insect race, bred with Adam, the Adamic breeding, the singularity. Eve was taken from his side, and the 2 have become one through the whole history of the world. Do you understand what you're seeing? I mean, do you really understand what I'm showing you? Do you understand that I can show you this stuff all?
I understand what you're saying, Click. Here's what you're saying. You're saying Adam. See, all right, so there's Adam and there's Eve. Eve representing Satan, evil. Adam being represented by Christ. Adam is Christ's representative. So, if you take Eve from the side of Adam, there's a creation. You create life in the beginning. Then what happens is Eve here's what happens. Eve is taken from the side. Then once Adam is plugged back up, Because at first you have Adam and Eve. They, you know how Eve always takes just a bite of things, and Adam was blamed. Eve blamed Adam for for luring him in, which, you know, he did with the snake. But Eve is the one that blamed it on Adam when God was asking her what's going on. And then Adam blamed, you know, Eve. So they weren't accepting responsibility. So they kind of separated. But that was when God took took Eve from Adam's side. Now, what Kleck is telling you is that because there's been a reconciliation at the end with Adam and Eve, representing good and evil, representing Christ and Satan, representing the yin, the yang, the black, the white, just representing exact opposites. Because if you're married, like I am, you always have a spirit that you're opposite. So then you learn to work together with your opposites, and then you learn to stop judging each other, and then you learn to use each other's qualities that you have. What Kleck's telling you is this: when Eve is taken away from Adam, from his flesh, when the sin is taken away from Adam, when Eve is taken away from the side, you know how Christ was pierced, and the Roman soldiers, you know, those that pierced him will see him in the end. Adam was his side because of his rib, what God did. God actually took Eve out of Adam. That way they can reconcile and they can be one whole in the end, because you're taking your Eve side, your Adam side, you're becoming one new person. So when he's telling you that Eve is being taken out of the side of Adam, it's representing that Christ, when he was pierced in the side, you know how blood and water came out? If you look at it literally, it's hard to believe the story, because who do you know that has actual blood and water that's going to come out if you pierce him in that specific side? I don't know, maybe water is in your... Maybe he drank a lot of water that day, and they pierced him in this where his water was sitting, and then blood came out. That could be one of the reasons why. But it's all about Adam and Eve reconciling and getting back together in the end as a marriage. And then that's when you stop warring with each other. So that's what Kleck's talking about with Adam and Eve. I don't know if the Kleckites know this, or any of the Pharisees or Sadducees. I don't know if they understand what you're saying, Kleck. I don't think they know. It's just like when I was misinterpreting you as being purely evil, that's how they're misinterpreting you too, as being purely evil. It took me like maybe a month and some change ago, I started to realize that, wait a minute. Oh my God, Kleck he's giving it to you straight down the middle, and then it's up to your perception. Why do you think when he does his drawings, that when he does, it's not just one drawing, it always is a multiple purpose? At least two. When you draw something on the outside, you're also drawing something on the inside. You have two different ways of looking at it. Turn it up, turn it down, back and forth, right side up. The male, the female, the two in one. One picture has at least two meanings. It's all about having multiple purposes with what you're saying and interpreting it at least two different ways, which is, well, mainly three. You interpret it the wrong way, you interpret it the right way, or you're somewhere in between. By the look in my eyes, baby, there's something missing. It's called a connection with your heart that is able to love other people that you are not like, or that you're judging them and thinking that they're evil when they're just, they are what they are. It depends on you. That's why we're all going to be suffering, because what you believe is true and it's not, and you have to suffer for it, that's on you. But it's time to reconcile back together with the good side and the bad side, with Satan, with Christ, with the fact that my best friend is a reptilian shapeshifter. But isn't that the way it's supposed to be in these end days? Aren't you supposed to reconcile back together? The only reason why it doesn't look that way to the Klekites, not all of you guys, I'm sure some of you has already turned, but to the majority of you, you have nothing but pure evil inside your heart. So you're not feeling this love thing. You love to shut me up is what you love to do. And you'll get your wish. You guys are in charge of the 30-day decree. That's what Klek gave you. He gave you the power for 30 days to shut us up.